Welcome to Home Sweet Halverson. I'm Jordan. That's Robin. And this week we're going to talk about tales from an SMA family. SMA, of course, spinal muscular atrophy. But first, baby, it's been another month. How has April been for you so far?
It's been better than February and March, and the kids are healthy.
Come on.
Praise the Lord. We're so excited.
We love you. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, we are entering into that blessed spring and summer season where we forget all of our troubles and life is good again. And so we're very grateful to be there. I'm a teacher, and so school is winding down, but those teacher. All right, weird. But those teacher friends that I have that watch the podcast, you know that the winding down is actually the most busy season of the year. And so we have started standardized testing, and the kids are wacko and all that stuff. So we are just like bracing ourselves. Almost every teacher I pass in the hallway goes, 5 more weeks, because we're all just so excited for that.
That's so awesome.
It really
being a teacher is you have 2 months off after that?
Literally, the kids are the best part, but then the breaks are amazing, and being able to sync that with our kids and be home with them. And I'm so excited for the summer.
And you keep badgering me to be a teacher.
I do. I keep going, are you sure? Because we could take 2 months off. We could go wherever we want this summer. We're going on a cruise because Mama's turning 40.
Woo, woo.
So you're taking me on a cruise, and so I'm very excited. It's my first ever cruise. I never wanted to go because I always thought...
You said it was a floating, dirty hotel, I think is what you used to say.
I used to think it was germ-infested, but...
There are germs on the boat.
Yeah.
But they clean it constantly.
Yeah, and I think I've kind of gotten past that. The thing that I love is being waited on 24/7 as a mom and a teacher that's always waiting on everyone around me. That's what I want. So...
We will actually do an episode from the cruise ship, so that will be amazing. I'm looking forward to that for so many reasons. So that'll be fun.
Tell us about your month.
I'm in finance, so tax season is finally closed. Apparently, I switched from healthcare for like 15 years, and so apparently tax season lasts for the entire first part of the year. So it's not from April 1st to April 15th. It's January 1st through April 15th, but those last couple of weeks, like, you can't even take time off. Like, it's blackout period. Everybody's super serious about it, and then you have all the people that are late doing their taxes, and God bless you if you're one of those, but they'll call in and be like, why can't you do this? And it's like, why couldn't you have done this in
2 months ago?
Yeah. But anyways, glad to have that stress off of my plate, and just need the stock market to do better. So anyways, I'll keep going on from there.
A little bitter about that.
No resentment. But anyways, so this week we're talking about tales of an SMA family. So we've got some funny stories. Just life is different when you have 2 power wheelchairs in your family, and just all the things that come along with that. And it makes life so much more interesting. Our life is so spicy. It's like a nice spicy meatball.
Your mom always says, you guys always have something going on. That's what she always says.
It's true. We do.
We are constantly going.
Doesn't matter if we're just going to Dairy Queen, which God help us if we're going there anymore. Gosh, that place.
They've gotten new management, and it's been the one near us is better.
Yeah. It only takes 20 minutes to get a burger down. Actually, no, that's wrong. They've got it. Anyways, we have derailed. Yeah. My whole point is we've got some funny stories for you, but why don't you kick us off?
All right. So my story that I want to share, my first story, is from this summer. First off, we love Colorado, specifically Rocky Mountain National Park.
It's my favorite place in the world.
And specifically Grand Lake. We shouldn't give the secret away, but...
Yeah, no. What she meant to say was...
Go to SS Park.
Denver. Go to Boulder.
Yes. No, but we love Rocky Mountain National Park, and
we love Boulder and Denver also.
Yeah,
but we just have our favorite.
We do. We have our favorite spot, and we have gone there 3 times now, or 4 times.
4 times.
4 times, and 4 times, and we've taken our family there twice. Okay, so there was one special hike that I took Shiloh on. It was the hike where I told her about the birds and the bees, and we went out. We went walking on this trail, and Rocky Mountain National has a lot of accessible trails. So that's one of the reasons why we love it, because we have a lot of places to go.
It's awesome.
So we went out on this accessible trail, and she and I decided we were going to go eat there was like a pull out, and we were going to go eat our lunch on this really cool pull out that overlooked the mountains in the background and the beautiful meadow with the wildflowers and a tree. And so we let our kids go off-roading a lot in their power chairs, because we don't want that to restrict them. You know, if they didn't have a wheelchair, they would be able to run around a field anywhere that they wanted. Yeah. And so we try, as long as it's...
we check for potholes first.
We check for potholes. We check for...
crevices.
And of course, like, sidewalks are the scariest thing in the world.
Because there's a foot drop off on either side.
Yeah. And so it's just one of those things that if you don't live with a person in a wheelchair, you don't think about it. Yeah. And we've had Gabby fall off of a sidewalk. It's a whole nother story, but we've had that happen before. And so, hold on just a second. We're going to silence our phones, because our phones...
Mine's silent, yeah.
Mine's not silent. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we went and we set up our lunch, and we were going to read, because she and I both are readers. And so we were going to read our books in the sun with the mountains in the background. It was going to be this wonderful mommy-daughter moment. And we're sitting there, and we had just finished our lunch, just starting to read and relax. And we noticed that there were people that kept lining up behind us.
Gawkers.
And I thought, these jerks, they are looking at us because she's in a wheelchair, and they're weirded out by it, and they're looking at it, and they want to see what's going on, and why is she off, in the field, and what are they doing? No. So we had a blessed person. So mind you, we have probably 20 people lined up, 20 cars, lined up behind us.
Full of families. And no one says anything to us.
Tell them what it was. So all of a sudden, this person, this blessed mom, says, "There's a moose." And I look, and I think 20 yards away, there was a moose trotting. And if you've ever seen a moose, their height is like 8 feet tall, like their shoulders.
Yeah, they're smaller than Rocky Mountain National, but still we're talking 6 to 7 feet tall.
But then long, because they're a four-legged creature.
And they are territorial.
And they
can be aggressive.
Yeah.
So it's not just a deer that's skittish. So if you don't know, they can be aggressive. Yeah.
So last summer, here I am with Shiloh, and I'm like, go, go, go. In a power chair, it takes a minute. It's not an easy process. So she had her chair off, and it goes beep, beep. Do, 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 to start. Like, that's kind of the process. And so she's like, beep, beep. And I'm like, go, 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 back up, back up. And bless her heart, she is so good.
Yeah, she is.
She was like, okay, I don't know what we're doing, but okay. And she backed up, and we were able to get up onto the sidewalk. And this wonderful family that was from Denver was going on their last trip through Rocky Mountain National. We're moving to Texas. They helped us and talked with us, and they were just a wonderful family. But it was a crazy moment. So when Shiloh learned about the birds and the bees, it was a memorable experience.
No joke.
To say the least.
I wonder if she even remembers anything I'll talk about after that.
Yeah, oh yeah, she does. She brings it up all the time.
Oh, that's right, she does.
She goes, "You remember that thing that you talked to me about?" And I go, "Yeah, you cannot tell your brother and your sister."
She wants to so bad.
Yeah, she does.
All right, so I'm going to switch gears a little bit on this one. And this has to do with being a parent that's tired and in a situation where you're a little stressed. So I was at the children's hospital, the local children's hospital, and we were tired. We woke up at, I think, 4 a.m. to get here for a procedure, and it was a surgical procedure. So we got everybody in, surgery started. One of our pastors came and met us there in the waiting room. And so we're there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go to the bathroom. It happens, right? So I go to the waiting room bathroom.
Dude, hold on. I think we've talked about the heard around the world.
We've talked about this.
There's a lot of bathroom things that happen to you.
Yes. So you're welcome. Great stories.
Yeah.
So this waiting room is not just like 6 chairs. It's all the parents that are there on that floor having their kids operated on that day. So it's really big. And in the center are the bathrooms. And so I go in, and pop a squat because that's what's happening. And I am sitting there doing my business, and then a woman walks into their single person bathrooms, right? I should say that first. They're single person, so it's not a bunch of stalls in there. You go in, and the woman walks in, and she comes in, and she's got this look like she's
absolute terror.
And I'm like, and all I could think of to say was, I'm sorry. I forgot to lock the door. And so I was mortified, first of all, because I was facing her. I wasn't standing up peeing with my back to her. We made eye contact, and we were both horrified. And then I had to finish up and walk into that waiting room again.
Did you see her?
Amongst the people. Yes, she was over here. I had out of my peripherals, I could see her. And I know she told who the group she was with, like, it wasn't like a social gathering, but she was with, I'm getting a lisp now. She had to have told them, but I hung out there for like 5-6 minutes, washed my hands, hang out, but I'm not hang out, but I put myself together, and then I came back out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to walk out into there. That was so awkward. And I saw her, and her face is burned into my memory, and it's the face of like someone that's been traumatized. So poor lady. Like, not only was she there for her kid surgery, but also she saw me sitting on the toilet. So that was awkward. And but if you've been in enough waiting rooms, tired, it may happen to you. So beware. Lock the door. Just push the button. It's okay. I think I even pushed the button, but you know some of those locks where you push the button and it doesn't take?
Yeah. Those
are the worst kind of locks.
We need to do
deadbolt.
We need to do an episode. And is that right? An episode.
Yeah, that's right.
That sounded weird to me.
A video?
A video of hospital stays.
Oh, wow. Yes.
We should do that.
Whole thing
That's
unto
a whole
itself.
Thought. Yeah.
Especially like over a week.
Because or a month like we've had before, but crazy stuff happens in your mind, and like just the psychological effects of being in a hospital. It's a real thing.
And being sick yourself in a hospital. But anyways, I digress.
So we're going to keep it light this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so speaking of hospitals, we have to take our girls to appointments often, and we sometimes have to take our son. Now, if you have ever seen a sibling with another sibling that is in a power wheelchair, it is a thing. They will ride on the back of a power wheelchair.
Yep.
Okay. So, and we have, the chairs have like little feet. Like now that they've got the big girl chairs, they have like little feet. So Judah just sits up and he puts his little feet and he hangs on and he loves to go for a ride. And it's super fun for him, especially when we're going to a doctor's appointment or we're around somewhere and he gets to just be a part of that. So we let him do that. We have no issue with it.
Or he'll hang on the back.
He'll hang on the back, whatever. So yes, that's one of the perks, right? So, I'm mom, right? And when I go to a doctor's appointment, I am a stickler about the fact that I'm the end all. Like don't tell me how to raise my child. Don't tell me how to treat them or what we're doing. Like this is my rodeo and you're just here participating for this moment. Right. Yeah. So we were walking down the hallway to do something.
Yeah, we're leaving, I think.
We were leaving after an x-ray or something along those lines. And this nurse, this little old lady nurse, now she thought she had been around the block and she thought that she knew all things pertaining to SMA. But she literally yelled at Judah for being on the back of Shiloh's power chair and said, I have worked in too many ERs and I've seen too many head injuries. And I'm like, lady, if my son is about to fall off of a chair, I'm going to catch him.
Yeah.
I am right there next to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're just interesting things. You don't realize how people just think that they can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
And they don't think that they need to have a filter because here you are. It's almost like here you are, a person that is living in a different situation than me. So I feel like I can offer you my opinion and I can share whatever I want to share about it.
Yeah.
And I think my advice to everyone out there listening, if you are not someone with a family with special needs, is to just have a filter. Understand that we're not there for your gawkery, or for your enjoyment, or for your
Well, we are
opinions.
there for your enjoyment.
No, but for your opinions, like let us live our life and let us do, because it would be the same thing as a big sister taking her brother and letting him get a piggyback ride, right? Yeah. And so just because it's on a chair doesn't mean that you get to tell us how to raise our family, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was just one of those weird moments that stuck with me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, as you can tell, I'm still kind of fiery about it because it really irritated me. What did you think about that?
I was not there for that. I remember you calling me when you got in the car. You were on your way home. You just called me and you were like, this nurse yelled at Judah for being on the back of the chair.
Yeah.
Kind of blown away by that. Yeah. The audacity of, you know. But I guess she thought he was in real danger, and she was just going to let everybody know. So, anyways, it's people sometimes.
Also, those people that police everyone else around them.
Yeah.
But anyway,
no fun.
Go ahead.
Switching gears, back to Colorado.
Okay.
So, last summer, this was really, really awesome. So, I had called ahead because I wanted to get the kids on a boat. I wanted to get all of them, both power chairs and Judah. So Shiloh, Gabby, Judah on the pontoon on Grand Lake, looking up at the mountains. And I'm like, how do we do this? What are the ramp situations? So I started calling around. And there's this one marina there. And they were like, yeah, we can do it. Let's do it. So it's the door's wide enough on the boat. There's a spot on the dock where we can get on. And we've got a ramp where we can get you on. A ramp. And so this ramp turns out to be plywood, but it worked. So what they had to do is at the end of the dock, so this is the end of the dock. They had to back up the boat where the door opened, and then somebody had to step on the gas. Not step on the gas because on the boat it's up here, but press the gas in reverse for the boat. So it pushed itself up against the dock the whole time. And then they put down plywood, a 4x8 piece, 4 foot by 8 foot, and the girls went up on it, and it went right into the boat, both of them. And this took probably 4 or 5 staff members to set up.
Along with us.
Along with us. It was so awesome.
But it was amazing. We need to post pictures because we have pictures and even video
of that happening.
No, not of that. I should have done that, but no, of just the experience of being on the lake and
we talk about strangers making comments and stuff like that. But there's also really amazing people that will go above and beyond to like make your experience happen, and that was really cool. It was like the guy that was the supervisor up there was in the Navy, and he was like, yeah, we can do it. We're going to make it happen. And the fact that they did that, and that the guy didn't just pull it up against the dock. He was actually actively going against the dock so we could go do it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. We spent an hour staring up at the mountains and blaring Carrie Underwood because that's what they were into last summer. I think I stuck in some other music.
Yeah,
but
you did.
Anyways, it was so fun. And that wouldn't have been possible in any other way, but just so grateful for those people coming together to get us on that pontoon. That was a blast. That was one of my favorite moments I think I've had
in years.
Being on that boat and flying around that lake. And the kids just, the wind blowing through everybody's hair, and it was amazing.
And just loving it.
Yes, absolutely. Really cool.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah, I think my next story is not necessarily an isolated event. It's just kind of a feeling and a moment that we have when, and I just want to speak to it because I think it's something that people with family members or kids with special needs, they will understand this feeling. Because when you walk into a public place, especially when you have 2 like we do, when you walk into a public place, there is always either the gawkers or the people that have something to say. Well, man, you sure drive that thing really well. You just kind of want to be like, yeah, you walk really well. like, yeah.
You're holding that fork really well.
Yeah.
Look at you
doing so good. And I think it's very important. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to say. And I think I want to hold space for people wanting to love our kids and wanting to.
That's what it is 95% of the time.
Yeah. And seeing them and not knowing what, but they want to acknowledge them. Because I think the other, like absolute ignoring.
Yeah.
is more hurtful, right?
Yeah.
So I specifically, like, I just feel like every time I think of that feeling that I have when we walk into a restaurant or something. I always think of Cracker Barrel because I feel like that's what we do every trip. We go into, it's literally is Gabby's favorite restaurant.
It's where you road trip.
It's where you road trip. Yeah. And I think people, like the public, as I talk to the public, you guys have the opportunity to bless a family. And oh my goodness, do you remember that one time when we were there and there was a sweet couple across?
We don't know who it was.
I think it was the sweet couple that was across, and they saw us. They saw us with our 2 kids, and Shiloh and Gabby, and Judah was a baby.
Yeah.
And we were at Cracker Barrel.
Yep.
And they just paid for our meal.
But they didn't make a deal out of it. Mm-mm. They just wanted to bless us. They didn't come over for like
acknowledgement or anything.
It was totally anonymous, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, your meal's been taken care of." And it was like, oh, what a relief, because especially when Judah was a baby, on top of the 2 babies that were rolling around, then we also had the stroller, or we had the car seat, and it was just a lot, man. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, those parents got to have a lot going on right now. It'd be awesome is to just pay for the food. It was such a blessing. Like, it just blesses so much, because Cracker Barrel's not that much money. It was the thought that somebody was like, hey, we see you, and you're doing a great job, Mom and Dad. We love what you're doing, and we wouldn't bless you. So that was really powerful. So if you see us at a restaurant, pay for our food.
Hey, we'll take it.
I'm joking, but it meant a lot to us in that moment, because it was, especially the earlier times were more difficult. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. What's your next story?
Well, my next story is about our latest surgery for Gabby, and I want to be very careful on how I talk about this, because obviously it was a hospital, but I don't want to name any names or anything, and I don't necessarily have any specific blame for anybody, but we went in for one surgery, and we ended up having a fracture in another part of the body while we were there, and so it's already tough enough to take your child in and put him under for surgery, and then you're told that everything went well, and then they come up to the hospital room and there's a broken leg when they had a surgery somewhere else on their body. And so it was very, very infuriating. It was stressful. It was like, oh my God. We were already planning on being here for the recovery, and now we have this after the long surgery. And it was very difficult, and it was very challenging to overcome that in that moment. And like we say every episode, God is good, and he gets us through every situation. And you can feel his peace just sitting on our family in that room. Of course, there's the immediate reaction, which is very human. And it's like, oh my God, what happened? How did you bring her back with this? It was very, very hard to take in, and it's still, as I think about when she came in with that, and it was like, why did she have to go through this? But she barely knew it happened. In
the moment, but she was crying, and she since has said, why did I, because it prolonged her recovery quite a bit.
Significantly.
and she said, why did that have to happen to me? And it's just hard because we don't have that answer.
No, we
don't know why, but
but that's just one of those things, is multiple surgeries. I think at some point you're going to have one where not everything goes perfect. And that was a situation like that. And we pray that was the one that went like that. But that was, and I know we're supposed to keep it light this week. So I just was blown away by that. And I don't think, I don't think that other people experience that usually, because usually you go in for something, you get it fixed, and then you leave. But if you go in for enough, maybe there's potential for that to happen. So,
yeah.
So
there is. I've heard other stories. Yeah.
But anyways, she got a purple cast.
She
loved
did.
That.
Yeah, she did love that. I wanted to talk about our experience through COVID in 2020, because we honestly we had a lovely experience. It was not bad. I loved it because we had struggled so much with sickness and had just had sickness after sickness. And then all of a sudden nobody's around and we all get super healthy and it was great. We were like, this is awesome. We don't have to see anybody or, be exposed to anything. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that we did as a couple is we started, I know my shout out to Cheryl Greiner, my friend. She says that if I had somebody that loved my porch as much as you love yours, I thought that was so funny.
That's hilarious.
But that's where that started. That time that we would spend time with each other on the porch. We couldn't go
anywhere for a date.
Because we couldn't go anywhere, so we would go out to the porch for a date.
Then we would get dressed to the nines, though.
I do. That was so cute. Yeah, we would get all dressed up, and we would
take my weekly shower.
Oh, shut up! No, he at least 3 times a week. But,
shut up. At least 4.
So anyway, so we would go and we would sit on our back porch. And at that time we had a very small yard and we lived in suburbia and we would dream. And one of our dreams was that because our kids didn't have a lot of space to go and play and run around the yard and do things. And one of our dreams was we want to live on land. And so it's not on silent.
I thought I did silence it.
Mm-hmm. So
awkward.
It's awkward. So he started looking, and at that time, interest rates went way down.
Oh my gosh! They were scraping the
so
bottom
wonderful.
of the barrel.
If
so
only
weird.
it was like that.
Oh my gosh! It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but he started looking around, and he found the property that we live at now, and then soon after. Jordan's parents and my mom all moved to the property behind us. So
we're all country now.
We're all country.
We country.
Yeah. And
not really.
But we own 2 acres in a beautiful house. Yeah. And one of my favorite things, I remember that I think it was May or June. I think it was May. We closed on the house. And I remember the first time letting the kids just run around the yard and being like, I cannot believe that this is what we get to do. And we look out and we're like, I cannot believe that this is our property, because it's literally like our kids have a park in their backyard.
It's really a huge blessing.
It is one of my favorite things that the Lord has ever done, because we needed that freedom. And so when you see our kids and you see their chairs are dirty, don't judge it.
And scuffed. And there's a chunk of rubber missing from Shiloh's back wheel.
No.
Yes.
Is there really?
Because she's hit the dirt, hit a rock or something. But we take them down the roads and everywhere.
Or the other day there was pollen, branches of pollen just sitting on her chair, and I was like, well, let's take this off.
Let's at least do that.
But we're not super fastidious about their cleanliness now, because we will be when they get older. But right now
they're kids,
and they run around their yard, and it is one of my favorite things to do, is just to sit and to watch them.
When I look back in years from now, decade from now, or 20 years from now, that's what I'm going to remember, is sitting on the porch at sunset, watching them fly around, act like horses or cats or whatever it is that week. And just all the beautiful memories that we've had there. All right, so my next story is going to be the procurement of the ProMaster. So we had a Toyota Sienna for a while when the kids were small, and then we had a little lift put in the back, and it was like this little arm, and it would pick up Shiloh's chair and put it in the back. And then we got 2 power chairs when Gabby got one, and we were like, this is too small. So when Gabby was in the hospital for a month, and that's another story, but when she was in there for a month, I'm looking for cars, and that's one of my favorite things to do, because I'm really good at finding a deal.
We have not said what happened this month.
Oh, we should talk about that too.
You want to save that for the end?
Let's save that for the end.
Okay.
So anyways, I'm looking and I'm scouring the internet for a giant van with a lift so we can have room. So we find what is it? They weren't called Dodge anymore. It was a Ram ProMaster in Indiana. Indiana? What? It was in Indiana. Indianapolis? It was Indianapolis, Indiana. And so we actually purchased it sight unseen. And this team of brothers that chain smoked drove it all the way down here. And I swear the guy was hanging out the window when he pulled it up.
Yeah, he was.
Trying to get one. But anyways, washed it up for you. And you're like, okay, thanks, bud. But anyways, they delivered it down to Texas for us. And sweet guys, but One followed the other guy, and they delivered it. But it was a massive 3,500, huge. Or is it 2,500?
It's like the size of Amazon delivery trucks.
Yes,
It was
yes, like a Mercedes Sprinter. It's the same thing. If you have the idea, but it's a giant cargo van, and it had rows of seats, 20 rows of seats, and then beyond that was all the space for the power chairs in the back. It was crazy huge, and it was awesome. But it was black, and the air conditioning and the rear air was so rickety.
It was Indiana Nana.
Yeah, seriously, Indiana version.
Indiana
like
version.
It's fine for Indiana Nana summers, but not for Texas summers. So we found that was, but it was a blessing. It was awesome, and we had it for a few years until we got the next one, which is another adventure with that one. So what happened with that one?
Yeah, so we started researching, and I did I find these types of vans, or did you?
Me.
You did, okay.
Yeah.
Of course. So he found the...
Not to brag.
What are they, the GMC?
Chevy Express.
Chevy
2500.
Express 2500 conversion van. So you have to say conversion van. So I was looking for something a little bit more comfortable. I wanted like nice leather seats. I wanted a TV for the kids, and I wanted some lighting and some things and a good working air conditioner. So we found a van that fit, because it had to be a certain length, because we have 2 power chairs and we have a guy that outfits. We got a guy.
We know a guy
that outfits our lifts and all that stuff, and they're wonderful there. And they said, well, you got to have it this length, and it's got to be this, because this is not going to be like
You've got to get the extended version.
You've got to get the extended version because you would. This is how we're going to do, and we had talked about how we're going to configure it. And I did not want to lift in the car. One thing that you don't think about is if you have a lift in the van, it goes as you're driving down the road. You can hear it.
That you apparently. It's like a menacing arch nemesis.
It's the metal moves.
Yeah, right.
And so
I remember from the Black Man.
Yeah, so I wanted to have an under vehicle lift, which is a lift that is stowed underneath, and then it comes out and comes up to get it. Yeah. So it's more expensive, but we found it. So we went.
We had that installed later.
We had that installed later.
That was not on this van.
We went and Jordan found this van in Kentucky. Where was it?
Kentucky. I flew you into Lexington, Kentucky.
I went to Lexington, Kentucky, and I was picked up by this sweet little couple that still follows me on Facebook. Shout out if you watch us. But still follows me on Facebook. And
I was so nervous about them picking you up.
So wonderful. Well, I wasn't, because I'm just oblivious. I should have thought, this could be a crazy, Well,
I think we felt like the dealership wasn't going to do you dirty, because we were bringing a bunch of money to them.
Right.
Not in a briefcase, but, we were going to buy an expensive van to us anyway.
And so we go in, and we found a great deal on this van, and it was absolutely perfect. And
it's a unicorn.
It is a unicorn.
That's why you have to go to Kentucky or Indianapolis.
Yeah. But we couldn't find it elsewhere, so we found it. And I drove home, because I used to travel. No big deal. I used to travel and speak
Slay Queen
around this region of the country. So I used to go on big, long, 8-hour road trips. And
big, long 8-hour
well, to me, that was long in one day. I mean, whatever you can do in a day. Yeah. And I loved to travel on my own. So I was so psyched to get to drive home the whatever hours. I think I drove to Nashville that night.
Well,
and then I stayed.
We didn't talk about this, but it had a giant seat that turns into a bed in the back.
Yeah.
Now, she did not sleep on it.
No.
But I ordered food for her ahead of time from, where was it? I can't remember. It was like Cheddar's or something. Yeah. Because you were like, just give me some comfort food.
Yeah.
And you sat on the back, and I think you watched a movie in the back of the van.
And it has, it's like my grandparents used to have a van like this that was smaller.
So
but
did mine.
It had the shades and all that.
Yeah.
And we have a 32-inch TV. That's so fun for the kids.
I love it.
And it's just such a blessing to our family. Mm-hmm. But I do remember what was funny. This is just people not understanding these vehicles. Should I say how much they are? Okay. Well, I won't say how much they are, but these vehicles are expensive, and it blows you away to think about how much it costs to first buy this type of vehicle and then to have to outfit it with a lift. Okay. So it's a good amount, right?
Yeah. The most expensive part is outfitting it later.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Under vehicle lift is another vehicle.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And so we there's this one person that worked at a school near us and said we had one vehicle for a moment because we were waiting. And she goes, well, it's okay. We have lots of families who only have one vehicle. And we're like, it's not because it's because we've just poured so much money into this, but it's so funny. Like, people just don't understand how much it is. Like, this is like driving around a Mercedes or something like that. Which, speaking of. So we've been waiting for a while to get a new car for me.
I know you've been driving the wheels off.
I've been driving the wheels off the other one, and we have just been looking around, and I found this Mercedes. It's an entry level, okay, but I like
you don't have to tell people that.
Well, I feel like because it's so bougie to say Mercedes, but 2 weeks ago we were able to go and get my Mercedes.
I'm gonna put a picture of you with it.
You should.
Yeah.
And it just is such a joy. I love getting in my car to drive to work and back, and you drove it today and you loved it, and so it's just so fun.
Yeah,
we love the Mercedes. So
yeah. What's so different? Mine is like 20 years old because I love my truck, and it is old, but it gets me to and from where I'm going. But it's like so different. Like those are two worlds apart in so many ways. So it was awesome. Thanks for letting me drive your car today.
You're welcome. But anyway, when I made a post about it because I don't want to like flex the.
What's the goodness of God is what
it
you're
is
flexing.
The goodness of God, but I don't want to like brag about it. But I also want to say, like, you know, for somebody that grew up the way that I grew up in poverty and without a whole lot, it meant so much. It was so healing that, you know, that I would be able to have something that I'm like so proud of to the point where I'm like, I feel like it's, you know, almost too much of a blessing, but I mean, I'll take it, you know, I'll enjoy it. But
you deserve it.
Yeah.
And you look great in it.
Thank you, baby. Yeah. But anyway, it's just wonderful. Yeah. So the Lord has blessed us in so many ways. So in all the places that we have had hardship and things are difficult and people don't understand and we feel, I'm saying that again, but I'm just going to say it, misunderstood in the way that we live and exist as a family. We also have experienced so much blessing and so much just love from other people.
Absolutely.
And so
it reminds me of, every time I think about it, it reminds me of a verse, and I think a lot of people would know this verse, but I want to read it verbatim, and I could probably read it from the memory of my heart, but I want to do it justice. But and I think that's probably about the end, so I just want to end with this. But the Lord is my shepherd; I have all that I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along right paths, bringing honor to His name. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me. And so the verse goes, the chapter goes on, Psalm 23 goes on, but that part always comforts me that He prepares a feast for me in the presence of my enemies. He is there with us all the time. In the darkest valleys, He is there with us. And so that has been my experience, and I hope that that's been your experience as well. And I know that that's been our combined experience, is that we are never abandoned or left alone, but we are comforted and we have peace and joy even in the hardest moments. Yeah.
And that's our testimony.
Yeah, it is. So those are tales from a family with SMA. There's plenty more I'm sure we'll share. We didn't get to do them all today, but don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube and on Spotify. And like I said, just share with a friend if you think they'd get something from it. But we love you guys, and we will see you next month for another episode. And until then, see you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.